This is Pod Populi.
Podcast for the people.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
Hi again, everyone. It's Brian Howie. Welcome to The Great Love Debate, the world's #1 dating and relationship podcast. Since 2015, I have somebody in here who was going to talk. That was my phone. Sorry, my phone went off. And I'm like, wait, give me 30 seconds because she's all excited and everything. I have a lot of ground to cover, and she's the right person to cover the ground with. I co-guested on another podcast with her, and I'm like, oh, she's interesting. She's got things to say. She's a comedian. She's a content creator. She's a producer of a lot of stuff, and she's got a lot of opinions. I came all the way to South Florida to get a Mexican in the house. Mariza Brussolo, how are you?
Hi, thank you, Brian, for having me.
So when people, because we're recording this in South Florida, and people assume you're, what, Dominican, Cuban?
Whatever. They assume that I'm Cuban, Puerto Rican, Colombian, but there are not that many Mexicans. I lived in Texas, in Austin, Texas, and everybody was Mexican.
Right.
Like whoever was Latino was Mexican.
How come the Mexicans don't shoot across the from the Yucatan this way, generally? Why are there lesser Mexicans here than
because it's further.
I don't think it's not further than California. I guess if you go up that way, but if you're on the Cancun side, the Gulf of Mexico side,
Maybe because they're happy to live in Yucatan because it's so pretty there.
It is so pretty there. So were you born there?
I was born in Mexico, in Monterrey, Mexico.
How often do you go back there?
Before the pandemic, I was going 2 or 3 times a year, but since the pandemic, I haven't been.
And when did you start to speak English?
I was in a bilingual school in Mexico.
Well, I know, but you didn't start at bilingual. Takes a little while. So it's 5. You weren't speaking English, right?
Oh, right. So the bilingual school, I started when I was in 1st grade. So then that's whatever it took me to learn. But we were taught by Mexican teachers in English. So
it's a little different?
1, 2, 3.
I grew up I spent 3 years in Paris growing up, and I had to learn French too. And I'm not sure that French that I was learning from American teachers was quite spot on either. When did you start to think in English or dream in English? Okay,
so I dream in English if in my dream I'm speaking. Like if I dream about you, Brian, I'm going to be speaking in English.
I guess that's a compliment.
But if I dream about like I'm speaking with my mom, my mom didn't speak any English, so I would be speaking in Spanish. So it depends.
So there's bilingual dreaming?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
If you hit your finger with a hammer, what comes out?
Spanish.
Spanish.
Yes. Also when I count. If I count like...
Uno, dos, tres?
Not like that, but like if you say, I have 3 boxes over here, 4 boxes over there, how many are there? And then I'm like, okay, what is that total? Then I'll be like, 3 más 4. Like I'll do the math in Spanish.
Fascinating. Mm-hmm. I wanted to bring you in here today because I wanted to talk about how we do judge people based on what we perceive to be either their physical appearance or where they're from. Sort of, we're very book by its cover people because we want to be able to sum up in a snapshot in a second as much information that we believe we know about somebody as not. Blondes, we think a certain way. Redheads, we think a certain way. Latinas, we think a certain way. Big, tall people, everything. We try and think that if we understand. So that is what always the challenge. We've had some mixed race people on this show, and the first thing that everybody wants to know is, what are you? Because they think if they know what are you, then they have a lot of information on who are you. And that's not always the case, right?
Right. And in my comedy, the first few seconds, I disclose that I'm Mexican, because if not, people are trying to figure it out and they're not focusing on my jokes.
Right.
So let's get it out of the way. I'm Mexican.
What is she?
In a joke. A joke. So I include in a joke. Now that's disclosed, and then now they can focus on what I'm saying. Yeah.
And when did you discover that to be I better just do that? Whether you're on a date or you're in front of a crowd, or you're like, oh, okay, let's get this out of the way right now because I'm not like most people in this room. I mean, is that what it is?
Yes.
South Florida, you are though.
Yeah, because the question is like, what are you? Where are you? And I am Mexican Italian, but I just say I'm Mexican. I don't like to say I'm Italian because if I say I'm Mexican, I always exceed expectations.
Do we have low I love Mexican people. I love it. I think there's a real communal, familial vibe to Mexicans. I'm one of the people in Southern California. I'm like, give me all the Mexicans. I think that's one of the very best things about California is that. Now, a lot of people disagree with me. A lot of people in Texas don't feel that way, but I've always felt that way. The culture, drives a lot of it. Are people expecting you to act a certain way? I'm not going to stereotype you as a fiery Latina when you get upset, when you're getting passionate. Are you like, they're expecting a real show here?
Okay, so what I do get is like they start throwing food at me, like, oh, you're Mexican. Oh, there's a restaurant, like this guy is like, my neighbor works at Taco Bell. Right. Like they're trying to have a connection with me.
Well, I know.
Yes.
I guess that's the way I think it. Or so
you make tortillas, and it's like not even my mom. My mom didn't even make tortillas. She had a cleaning lady that made the tortillas for us. My mom wasn't making tortillas.
Do we assume you can cook and clean, or is that a bad assumption?
That's what people assume. Yeah, actually, my ex-husband divorced me because I didn't cook and clean.
Oh, really?
I'm not. Well, he told me that's like you don't even cook and you don't clean. Yeah,
you didn't know that ahead of time.
Like he didn't know. I mean, he saw where. Yeah, he saw how I live, but I don't know. He assumed, I guess, that I was going to do those things. No, I mean, I do keep my house clean because I want to live in a clean place, but I don't like, I'm such a good cleaner. No.
You're not going to clean somebody else's.
No.
Right. If somebody takes you to a Mexican restaurant on a date, is that ballsy? Like, this is what I want to eat and this is where I want to go? Or you're like, they're taking me because they expect that's what I eat?
That's such a good question.
I know. It's like, do you take somebody I know took a Japanese girl out and he took her for sushi, and I'm like, why would you do that?
As long as the restaurant is on the water, I don't care if it's a Mexican restaurant. Just take me to a nice restaurant.
But if it is a Mexican restaurant, is that a red flag, or how do you interpret it?
You know what? I am so not sensitive to that. But what it is annoying is, this is what's annoying. Like, okay, where are you from? Mexico. Hola, oh, and they start making these sounds, and it's like, hola, mucho caliente. Like,
are you offended by the way we dive into Cinco de Mayo in a way that Mexicans don't?
Yes, we don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo. We celebrate September 16th, which is actually our Independence Day, and there's a
Cinco de Mayo, for those listening out there, is not Mexican Independence Day. Yeah,
no, it's not. We don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo. We don't.
So you got divorced at some point along the line. How long between the time you got divorced and the time you're like, I need to get back out there and figure out the dating world again?
Oh, actually, when I was getting a divorce, I had a friend that I had met when I was getting the divorce. And then after the divorce went through, then we were just like being friends for like a few months. And then we were in a relationship. So I didn't get on a dating, right now I'm on a dating app, but I didn't go on dating apps until like recently, like super recently.
Okay, but at some point then, so if you go back, how long were you married, if you don't mind me asking you?
I was married many years.
Many years. So you were married a long time, and then you're in a relationship. So the time before you got married to when you started getting into the dating apps, the world changed on you pretty much.
Absolutely. Like there were things that people are doing that I had no idea. I was very sheltered when I was growing up, and I got married very young. And my ex-husband was also very, we were just very kind of conservative. Mexican? No, American. But he was very conservative, not conservative, I mean politically. I mean conservative, there was nothing weird going on.
Were you a citizen?
He applied for me because I married him. He's American.
Does that still work? Or they changed that law? Like it used to be, if you married an American, you automatically got citizenship.
Oh, but there's not
anymore, right?
No, not even back then. He had to apply for me. He had to get an attorney to help me.
Did you have to take a test and everything?
Yes, a test.
You have to say that.
I had to learn all the precedents and all that.
Yeah, I've seen that test. That test most Americans couldn't pass.
It's like 200 questions.
I know. I know. That's crazy. So he got you some citizenship.
Yeah, he got me the citizenship. First the green card, then you get the citizenship. But it took a while. It took like a year.
How long were you here before you got married full time?
No, I came. I was going to college. I was going to college, and then we came to Austin. We went to Austin, Texas, and he was working in the hotel where where we stayed. And then I met him. And then we lasted 3 years, and we only saw each other 57 days in person.
That's probably why you lasted 3 years. Probably helps.
That what?
That you didn't see each other very much.
Yeah, so we... That's true.
That's why you didn't know about the cooking and the cleaning.
That's right.
Okay, so fast forward. So you get divorced, you date somebody, but then at some point you're like, I need to figure out dating apps. Did you have somebody to advise you, or you're just like, I'm going to dive back in the pool?
All of my friends wanted me to go on a dating app, and I'm like, men are bad. Men are mean. Men hurt.
Women are mean. Women hurt.
No, but that's what I thought. But I changed my mind, Brian.
Okay.
I changed my mind.
So why did you think that going in? Because your ex-husband was mean?
Yeah, I felt that he was. But of course, he has his version. So I'm not going to say anything about him.
Okay, we'll have to get him in here.
No. So I just thought, you can't count on them. They say one thing, but they do another. I don't want to get into that or whatever, Okay. But the guy I dated after my divorce.
A transitional guy.
No, he was very special. He's very special.
Oh, he's currently very special.
Yeah, we're not in touch right now.
Okay.
If we see each other, we say hi to each other. But I was just thinking
or
the other
hola?
day.
Or is it hi?
Hi.
Oh.
Hi. No, but I was thinking I was very lucky because he's a sweet person. He was also conservative in the sense of, when I say conservative, I'm translating it because in Spanish, conservative means not even traditional. He wasn't weird. I met a guy, I swear, I went on a date. I'm going to tell you, I went on a date one time, and this guy wanted to smell my armpits.
Is that flattering? Is there part of that that's flattering?
It was weird. And I was like, that's what people are doing out there?
How does that come up?
We went out to dinner. It wasn't even
So you're splitting.
It was just a date, regular date, going out to dinner.
So you're sitting there with the fondue or whatever. I don't want to guess what kind of food you're eating. We're just
having dinner. He took me to a really nice restaurant. Mm-hmm. And then after that, he got really close to me. He said, I want to smell your armpits.
Were you wearing sleeveless or anything?
I can't remember what I was wearing, but I was like,
okay.
No.
Well, pheromones and stuff. And so you said sure, or you said why?
No, I was like, you're silly. I'm like, I need to go home. I freaked out.
Yeah, that would be a little freaky.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about, weird things.
Right, but if that's the weirdest, now that's fucking weird. I get it. If that's the weirdest thing,
yeah,
you might be all right.
Oh, okay.
Does he ask? I have a lot of questions. Get that guy in here. I have a lot of questions. Does he ask that of everyone? Is it a compliment? Is there something about you that's I need to smell her?
Maybe I was the first one that it occurred to him to smell armpits.
Well, you're right. I want to know if this is. Did you offer him any other body parts?
You're so smart. I didn't think about those questions.
Did you offer him we're not ready for that, but here's an elbow? Did you compromise?
I was in shock. I think I was very scared.
Yeah, I would think that's
scared.
Freaky
I was nervous, I'm going on a date with this person because the guy that I dated after my divorce, we lasted 3 years.
Okay.
So I was very
I knew
familiar
this girl who dated a guy, and he only wanted her to touch his shins. He that was his erogenous zone, was his shin bone. So he wanted it to rub his leg, his fibula, his tibia, whichever it is, on her.
Are you getting medical on me?
I know. Do we have a skeleton in here? I don't know. Yeah, it was weird. So going in there, so do you lead with I'm bilingual when you start to fill out a profile? How much of the ethnicity do you throw into the thing? Because most people are going to have that question. They're going to say, what kind of name is that, obviously? They're going to want to know.
I don't put my real name though.
Oh, you have a fake? Is it a
yes.
Mexican name?
I have two. I'm in 2 apps right now, Brian.
Oh my God! And do you do a fake Mexican name?
No, in one I'm Luna.
Okay, that sounds Italian.
And the other one I'm Mira. Mira.
M-I-R-A. Mira.
Yes.
So you're not going with Shaban or some Irish name or something.
No. And I want to get on another app.
Why
and
are
I
you
need
using
to come
fake?
up with
Why are you using fake names?
Because my name is spelled different.
So it's Googleable.
It's with a Z. Yes, and if they put my name and comedian,
it's going to come
show up. Yeah.
So what?
Well, I just
you don't want them showing up at your shows.
After my first date, I tell them my name.
Do you tell them on the date? Listen,
yes,
that's not my
on
name.
The date. Oh, sometimes on the phone, if I feel really comfortable, I say, my real name is this,
and they understand your reasoning, right?
Yes, they actually understand perfectly. They're like, oh yeah. But sometimes like they'll send me a message through the app and like, what's your real name? And I'm like, excuse me, block.
Well, once they have your phone